you're interested, there is a free public Discord group for Handstandology, this channel, my business. And you can ask any questions on handstands, health, wealth, and happiness. I will do my best to answer you, and hopefully people in the community will answer your questions as well. The link is in the description. There is also the 15 and 50 handstand challenge, which is all about developing your 15-second handstand in 50 days. The time is less important, but it's about developing your 15-second handstand. And you can check out that in the link in the description box below as well. Might as well do a quick intro about who I am. My name is Ezra, and I'm 25 years old. I live in New Hampshire. My wife is 25, and she's a school teacher. I fell into handstands when I was 15 or 16. So I've been doing them seriously, not so seriously, back and forth for basically 10 years. I grew up on a dairy farm in Vermont. And I say that with so much probably drama, animation, but I grew up on a farm, and I did not do gymnastics. I didn't play sports until high school. I came home every day and had chores to do. I was the only kid, myself and my two younger brothers, the only people that we knew of who were like this. So when I got to be 14 or 15, I decided that I wanted to have muscles, and I wanted to have abs, and I wanted to be stronger than my friends. At that point, I decided I was going to run track. I was also interested in basketball, and I wanted to be stronger. So I looked around YouTube, and I found bar athletes in New York, and it led me into this rabbit hole of calisthenics. Eventually, I built my own pull-up bar and dip bar set in my backyard in Vermont. I'll have to share a photo of it sometime. It's still there at the home I grew up in. And I started to dive right in. I did this at school in my free time, after school, sometimes before school, and then graduated high school, and throughout high school had been experimenting with handstands, basically. More or less kicking up, thinking I could get some sort of hold if I just got lucky, and I thought that's all there was to it. But no surprise, nothing really happened until freshman year in college, where I decided to get a little more serious with my handstand practice, and pretty quickly I was able to build up from my base of kicking up. Over the course of 4 years, I managed to get lucky with 10 seconds, probably 50% of the time. And so I was right about 10 seconds, 15 seconds hold time, but very low consistency. And combined with some wall drills and more purposeful study, I was able to take that to 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, and eventually a minute. By the time I got to a minute hold, I was roughly almost finished with my sophomore year in school. And then I studied abroad in France, and I met a bunch of workout enthusiasts, few handstand practice people, got injured a couple times, loved my time over there, but came back with even more enthusiasm for working out and calisthenics, and continued right on going when I returned to school. But my focus on handstands had grown until senior year in college. That was pretty much all I was doing, plus some basic upper body strength and a little bit of lower body strength. At the time, I was in a relationship and thinking about other life choices as well. So I continued my handstands and worked with family until I decided to move away from home and pursue other career interests. Story for another time. And in doing so, I opened the doors to some bigger health and well-being related career path, which I was interested in, but didn't yet have the courage to do. And so another year passed, plus actually, almost 2, before I became a personal trainer. Only I wasn't a personal trainer for handstands. I was doing general population training and not really liking it at all. There were other things that didn't work so well, such as having a almost 25-minute commute each way to the gym that I was really not into. Anyways, fast forward And by the time I decided I wanted to go full personal trainer, give it a shot, we hit the pandemic. Most recently, in 2020, for those of you in the future, we had the COVID-19 pandemic, and the gym closed down. I lost my position there, or at least it was on pause, and I chose not to return when it finally came that the gym was open again. And that led me to create HSO. HSO, or handstandology, was originally handstands only. And I created the 15-second course. And I taught people one-on-one, online. I also offered a membership where people could get on board for a little subscription and just see content, just be a part of the group. And after a year of doing this, through the pandemic, and even seeing income growth and seeing impact and having hours, many hours invested in relationships with my students, creating countless hours of material, by the end of it all, by the end of the year, I was a complete burnout. Not only was I not seeing progress in my own training, but I was so fed up with teaching handstands online that I unconsciously stopped creating content, positivity, and impact the way that I had been creating it, because it wasn't aligned with who I wanted to be or who I saw myself becoming. I couldn't see a version of the online business the way it was that was bigger and also the way I wanted it to be, which allows me freedom to be who I am. And so I want to share the story and the lessons involved in that, so that people like you don't have to fall into that trap. Handstandology is not just handstands anymore. It is health, wealth, and happiness. And those things on this channel are through my eyes, which means handstands I do daily. But there's a lot of other stuff that I'm going to show and tell and talk about. And I have a burning pull, a burning desire to share this stuff, because I know I'm not the only one feeling this way. And I don't want to be alone feeling. Confused, also uncertain, especially as a young man trying to make an impact and create a space. One of the cool things about handstands is once you get going, it's easy to get addicted to the process. And you can play the game with yourself of just one more day, week, month of doing this. Most of the time, day to day, it isn't something that excites me anymore. It's exciting when I get something new, accomplish something new, when I can start to feel more control, when I get a new personal best. But the up and down, the over under, the falling, the repetitive nature isn't really fun. It isn't fun. Don't let anybody tell you it's fun. What's fun is when you do it with people, when you practice it consistently so that you can go out and outside of your normal practice zone, you just pull a handstand anywhere for any reason. That's fun. It's cool, it's different, it's new and exciting when you've got eyes on you, when you're challenging yourself. But all of that happens because you show up here and you do it. Even when you feel like nothing is right. Today, not the greatest day. Today is just another day, but it's also lack of sleep. It's hot. I've been in the sun. Anything like that accumulates, and here I am. It's 5 p.m. and I'm doing handstands. And I've accumulated the whole day's work. Inhaling leaves. So I have a question for you. And that question is, do you ever feel like you don't have a purpose? Or at least not one purpose. There's a book by an author titled The One Thing. I've read it. It's a great book. It talks about identifying the one driver that you can focus on to become an expert in. And it gives you pre-formulated questions that you can use to identify that one thing in your life. And it's true. If you were to lay out all of your interests on a whiteboard, and you were to cross them out based on just the question, like, what can you get rid of and what can you not get rid of, if you have to, you're going to end up with one thing. Currently, my one thing is this. It's speaking. Speaking. speaking to others, talking, sharing, elaborating on what's up here. And I have lots of other interests, hobbies, skills, a wide variety that we will talk about in future videos. And I don't have a medium, a vehicle, or a real way of sharing that speaking. So to some extent, the discussion and the handstands and the camera are here to provide a way for me to speak. And whoever hears me might think I'm crazy, but they also might think just like me, or similarly to me. And if that is the case, if you think similar, if you wonder the same thing, if you have some of the same questions, show me, subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and like the video so I know. And then above all, write a comment because I'm going to respond to every comment.